This is Ray.
This is Andy.
And this is FDS Local Sports.
What's up, Ray?
Andy, love
Yes.
the hat this week.
Thank you. Thank you.
I am in my Buffalo Bills jacket. Do you want me to show you what I got underneath my jacket tonight?
No, but if any of you guys want to know, go check out our NFL show this week. It's pretty embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
All right, listen, let's talk about some local football, Andy.
Let's do it.
We'll get to the Mounties later on. Before we do that, let's talk about some high school football.
Let's go.
As you know, Division 2 were in the first round of their playoffs. We had the last regular season games being played in Division 1
Yep.
and 9-man.
And 9-man, yep.
And those playoff games start this week. We'll talk about the playoff schedule. But let's talk about some football games. First up is KV at Odyssey. Mm-hmm. Now, I was supposed to be the white hat in this football game, and I had to pull myself out. I tweaked my Achilles the week before in the Moncton game, so that's why I was not in this game. Good football game for Odyssey, though. Odyssey came out and did what they had to do in the first round of the playoffs. They were taking on KV. They were favored to win in this game.
Yep.
Our three experts all took Odyssey in this game, and Odyssey came out and won that game 28-7. Caleb Fogarty had a big day with a touchdown. Samuel LeBlanc had a touchdown reception from Devin Niles, who also threw a touchdown pass to Brandon Melanson as well. On defense, the defense was led by Dominic LeBlanc and Matt LeBlanc. Dominic had 2 interceptions and Matt had 1 interception. They came out and played solid football on both sides of the ball.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was a great game by Odyssey. Let's move on to some other 12-man Division II games. Bernice McNaughton was taking on the Harrison Tremble Trojans, Andy. What did our predictors take in this game?
All three of them took the Trojans winning this one. Pistol Pete and Coach Zen had it being very close games.
Okay.
And Mr. Freeze also. So everybody took the Trojans.
Everybody took the Trojans. Well, they were right again because Harrison Tremble wins this game 38-0. I actually am surprised by that score. I thought it was going to be a tighter ball game. Bernice McNaughton's been playing really good defense all year. I didn't get any stats from our inside reporter, Seth Foster. In fact, we haven't even heard of Seth since this game. He is also the Bernice McNaughton mascot.
That's right.
And
he's very
I'm
busy.
wondering if Harrison Tremble has kidnapped the Bernice McNaughton mascot.
That would be quite the story. Let us know, please. Plus, we got to go get Seth out of there.
I don't know where Seth is again this year, but we haven't heard from Seth. If you're out there, if you hear us, if you see us, get in touch with us. We want to know if you're all right.
Yep.
Another big game going on in the 12-man final. Ormukto High was traveling to ESA Casters.
Yep.
Hashtag Casters Nation. And this, again, was going to be a pretty big game. How did Denny and the boys predict this one?
Well, now Denny's not one of the predictors.
Sorry. How did Pistol Pete and the boys predict this one?
All three of them had the Casters handling business easily.
And they did, 44-16. Now, Coach Drisdale, who always gets in touch with us with stats, he sent us the score this week.
Didn't get any stats.
That was it. My guess, it was Tremblay to Tremblay, back to Tremblay, throwing it deep to Tremblay. There was probably a lot of Tremblays going on in the scoring.
I imagine. Yep.
All right?
Yep.
All right. Next game, we had St. Stephen traveling to St. Malachy's. Mm-hmm. You want to find the stats on that one? What did they predict in this series?
All three had the Saints winning this game also handily.
What did Mr. Freeze have there?
Mr. Freeze had St. Max. Mr. Freeze had St. Max 35-0.
35-0. Well, pretty close. They won 35-15.
Pretty close.
All right. Yeah. Damian Cogswell, 100 yards receiving with a touchdown. Matt Morton puts up 300 yards passing with 3 touchdowns. Colin O'Donnell, 100 yards rushing with a touchdown. And Matt Bell scores his first ever high school touchdown in a playoff game.
Awesome.
Great job for our casters. we should probably have had our Castor Nason shirt on for this.
Maybe.
All right. Well, maybe next week, boys. Win this week. Win
Yep.
this week. All right. Now let's go over to the 12-man Division I games. We had Leo Hayes traveling to Moncton High. Now, these are very important games for the seedings of the first round of the playoffs, okay? Only 6 teams are going to make, so out of the 6-team division, only 4 teams make the playoffs.
Yep.
And if you remember last week, we had a couple teams tied at 3-3, St. John High, Tantramar, and Riverview.
Yep.
So it was going to be really important for those teams you had to win to be in.
Win. Exactly.
Okay? Leo Hayes traveled down. They were the team in last place in the division to take on Moncton High.
Yep.
Moncton High had to win this game to be the number 1 seed in the division. They came out and won this game 28-7. I was at the game. Quarterback, last name is House. He had a very good game for Moncton High. They were running the ball. They played great defense. Number 99, and I don't have his name, from Leo Hayes. He's a running back.
Okay.
Andy, this guy is a monster. Do you remember the running back for St. John High, that big, we called him the bus?
Yeah.
The fridge. This kid is almost as big as that guy.
Wow.
And he was getting the ball, dragging 4 or 5 players to the ground.
Nice.
And Moncton High finally started tackling him at the knees, and it definitely helped the defense.
Helped out a lot, huh?
Moncton High wins that game 28-7. We'll talk about the implications on that in a second.
And all our guys had Moncton winning that one.
Did they?
Yep.
St. John High comes down to take on Tantramar. This was going to be a tough game for the Greyhounds, especially Tantramar. They're fighting for their playoff lives to get into the playoffs.
Yep.
What did they predict in this game?
All 3 of them had the Titans winning this one by at least 3 touchdowns.
And they did that and more. They won this game 42-7. This game was led by Riley Estabrooks, Owen O'Neill, and Colby Tower, who had multiple touchdowns. These guys are the same names that we seem to read out
over
every
and
week
over again,
when it comes to the Titans. Fredericton High School. They were in town here in Moncton taking on the Riverview Royals in Riverview. How did they predict this game?
Everybody had the Royals winning this one by 1 to 2 touchdowns.
Well, they're right again. 27-0 for Riverview. And I have to tell you, I'm absolutely shocked by the score. After seeing Fredericton play Moncton High the week before, I thought Fredericton was going to come out and be very competitive in this ball game.
Yep.
All I can tell you, folks, I don't know what to expect in the playoffs come Division I.
Yep.
I have no idea. Why don't you talk to us about the 9-man real quick?
Yep. In the 9-man, the Hampton, we only had 2 games because these were the makeup games for the Hurricane. Right.
Yeah.
So we had the Hampton Huskies going to visit Sussex. Sussex wins this one 56-7. All of our guys predicted this one pretty accurately.
Yeah, it looks like it.
For the Sonics, Caleb Spence, Anthony McLean, Jason Beach, and Owen Dunfield all had 2 touchdowns apiece.
Wow.
The defense had 5 sacks, 5 picks, and a fumble recovery. At 7-0, the Sussex defense has given up 26 points in 7 games.
Wow.
The second game, we had the Harborview Vikings going on the road to visit Rothsay. Everybody had Rothsay winning this one in a blowout. It was actually much closer than anybody predicted. Rothsay win this one 32-20. Ethan Finnegan had 172 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Quinn LeBlanc, 230 total touchdowns, reception, and running in 3 touchdowns. Connor Stites and John Barry each had a touchdown. On defense, Will Young, 6 tackles. Jacob Harrington had 3 sacks. And Stites, who was a star on offense, had 2 fumble recoveries and 5 tackles to boot.
Wow.
So that's your 9-man.
That Quinn LeBlanc, we hear about that kid's name a lot.
His name comes up a lot.
All right, so upcoming this week, Andy, is playoffs for everybody. And we've talked about playoffs before. For those that aren't familiar with playoffs in football, it's 1 game, win, you move on, lose, and what happens?
You go home.
You go home. It's that simple, all right? So nobody can find the playoff schedule for this weekend. I've had people contacting me all day. Do you know about the playoffs? Do you know about the playoffs? Well, FDS is about to release the playoff schedule for the upcoming weekend that you can't find anywhere but FDS.
Yeah.
Here
now,
we go.
by the time this video comes out, you may have already found it, but whatever. We just got it on the phone.
We had it first. We're releasing it to the world. Here we go. On Friday night in the Division 2 12-man, St. Max is coming to Moncton to take on Odyssey at Rocky Stone at 7 p.m.
Yep.
That's going to be a great football game. Harrison Tremble is traveling to Fredericton to take on our ESA, hashtag Castor Nation. That also is going to be at 7 p.m., okay? On Saturday, you have Fredericton High taking on Riverview High at 1 p.m. at Harrison Tremble High School. Okay?
Yeah.
All the playoff games are going to be on turf. Riverview wants to host it on turf. They don't have turf at their school. They got a beautiful grass field. So they're playing this game over at Harrison Tremble High School. If you're a Royals fan, you got to go over and wear maroon this weekend. Or can they wear their red?
They can wear their red.
They can wear their red?
Yeah.
They can wear their red because that's where that game's going to be taken. Moncton High, who ends up being the number 1 seed, they're taking on Tantramar.
Right.
And that is also on Saturday at 3 p.m. at Rocky Stone Park. Now, I have made comments to numerous people. I thought Moncton High would be taking on Fredericton.
Yeah.
But when you look at the point differentials of these games, when Tantramar's games were reversed, Fredericton won that game by 7-0.
Yeah, those were turned into 7-0 defeats. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why Fredericton ranked ahead of Tantramar. Tantramar's the 4th seed in these playoffs.
Right.
I thought Moncton was going to be taking on Fredericton this week.
Yeah.
There you go. Tantramar's taking on Moncton. That's going to be a tough game for Moncton right out of the gate.
Oh my gosh, yeah. The Tantramar Titans, the number 4 seed, they're going to love that. You better be ready to play, Moncton.
Better be ready to play. There's some big players for Moncton. Okay? Jacob Scharnberg, Riley Schramm, the quarterback House that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
All these guys got to come to play. You got to come to play this game. All right?
Yep.
Over in the 9-man division, Andy, they're in playoffs as well. Both games are on Saturday. James M. Hill is traveling to Rothsay at 1 o'clock.
Yep.
And Harborview will be in Sussex, taking on the Sussex Sonics at 1 p.m. as well.
Yep.
There's another big playoff game, not a championship. This is the championship in the AFL. That is between Holland College and UMB Fredericton. Holland College upset Dow last week, which has been the clear leader all season long.
Yep.
And Holland College upset them last week, and they will be taking on UMB Fredericton at BMO Field at 1 p.m. on Saturday.
Nice.
Okay? One thing else I should mention, all the provincial finals, so all the championship games for all 3 divisions are going to be played next week in Fredericton on Saturday at BMO Field in Fredericton.
Okay.
Yeah, Fredericton is the host city for all the provincial championships this year. You want to go, if you live in Moncton, Sussex, whatever, or Sackville, and you're going to the championships, you're going to Fredericton next week. Okay?
Good.
AUS.
AUS.
Let's talk some AUS because it was the
wild.
last week of the regular season. And there was a lot of scenarios. We were all trying to figure out as officials how things... We know Acadia is going to be the number 1 seed.
Right.
And it was going to be between Mount A, SMU, and Bishops as far as who was going to get in and who was going to host.
Right. Bishops was in, I think. I think Bishops was going to be in regardless with their 4-4 or I thought they were going to be in regardless, but
no,
they weren't.
If both SMU and Mount A won,
Bishops was out.
Bishops was out, and Mount A would have been hosting.
Got it. Wow. It was all over.
It was chaos. Yep. It was absolute chaos. SMU lost. Okay, so let's just...
I can't believe SMU lost.
St. FX beat SMU 14-4. SMU's offense just couldn't get going. Quarterback, they must have had 5 interceptions and 2 turnovers in the game. Wow. I was in the game. I was surprised they couldn't move the ball. They couldn't. St. FX wins that game, ending SMU's season.
Yep,
so SMU is out. You're okay? Right. Mount A has a chance to host the semifinal with a win over Acadia.
Which was going to be a tall task.
Tall task. I was getting updates throughout the game. The SMU camera guy on the sideline, his brother is number 1 and plays for Mount A. Yep. So he was giving me updates through the game. And at one point, I was told the score was 24-10 for Mount A, and I was like, what's going on? Acadia must not be playing their starters. Well, guess what, Andy? They did play their starters. They were doing everything they could to get Mount A out of the playoffs because they don't want to be facing them in the Loney Bowl. Anyways, Mount A comes up just a bit short in this game, 33-31. Dave Patry, the quarterback for Mount A, Patry, goes 365 yards, one touchdown, 2 interceptions, and our boy from Moncton, Josh Hicks.
Right.
Love this kid.
Record setter.
300 yards receiving, Andy, with a touchdown.
Wow.
I mean, find me another U Sports wide receiver that's going to get 300 yards in 1 week in this country. You're not going to find it. What an amazing performance by Josh Hicks. But Mount A is led by their defense. Their defense is outstanding. They've got a young rookie. You've heard me talk about him this year. Lucas Cormier from the Tantramar Titans. This kid puts up 6.5 tackles this week. Just to give you an idea on the year, Andy, he's got 24.5 tackles and 5 interceptions.
Yep.
This kid is unbelievable. They had a 55-yard field goal to try to win this game. He had the distance and just missed it. Scott Norwood all over again.
Well, at least SMU didn't come to play, and the Mounties were in regardless. So it would have been nice to host that game against Bishops.
Yeah.
It's a lot tougher game going to play that in Quebec. So,
well, here's for the first time in the history of the AUS, the semifinal's not going to be played in Atlantic Canada. It's being held at Bishops University, which I'm told is about 2.5 hours from Montreal. Mount A will be traveling there for the semifinal. The winner of that game will be coming back to Acadia for the Loney Bowl. That will be an outstanding game. And guess what, Andy? Yours truly will be in the Loney Bowl. So I'm really looking forward to that game. I can't wait to watch this game on Saturday to see who will be in that game. There's 4 guys from Atlantic Canada going up to Bishops to officiate that game. We have a one and only Al Gates as the referee, Chris Wall out of St. John, and Colin Bond and Vince Williams out of Halifax making their trip to Montreal on Friday to officiate this game. So, folks, here's what I got to tell you about football in Atlantic Canada. This is the best time of year to go check out a local football game, whether it's the 12-man Division 1, 12-man Division 2, 9-man final, AFL Championship, and you can catch the Mounties on television Saturday at 1 o'clock, or if you go to one of these other games, you can watch it later on AUS television.
Yeah, and a very rare situation where if you want to see the Titans play in the playoffs, you don't have to drive to Sackville.
Yeah, you don't have to drive to Sackville.
Hit Rocky Stone on Saturday.
There you go.
Yep.
All right, guys, that's it. Once again, thanks for tuning in. We wish all these teams we mentioned great luck heading into the playoffs or in the second round of the playoffs for the Division II. Best of luck, and we look forward to giving you an update on these games next week.
Talk to you guys next week.
See you guys.